one charge.
Scanning ahead.
Right there. Should see them.
Found them.
Right there.
It is cold. Shot down.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Pimp My Lineup. If you like this content, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hi everyone! Let's get right to it. Sova Heaven Short A Shock Dart Part 2. Ooh. Oh.
Shot down.
Dude, this guy. Dude.
Trick shot.
Some background information here, guys. There is a thing with Sova where your shock darts can take out utility like Killjoy, Cypher, Chamber, and so on with your shock darts. If you double bounce the shock dart, it actually gives you an audio cue. He either says trick shot or any angle. In a previous episode of Pimp My Lineup, this guy made a shock dart for taking out the Cypher tripwires here. And then someone in the comments went like, yo, but my Cypher normally plants it here. So he's like, I'll just make another. And then just did this. That's cool. I have no criticism. This is really good, really brilliant.
충격 화살. 충격 화살이다.
Nice. The lineup is pretty good. When you're diffusing generator, you're actually not looking up that way. But like, when do you ever play Cubby in a post plant on Ascent? There is a scenario where when you push a site and you have heaven control, you stand on the stairs and you plant. Just before you put down the spike, you aim outwards down the stairs because the spike travels an extra 50 centimeters in the direction you're aiming. From there, it's fully visible from this cubby. And make sure you aim outwards when you put it down. See what happens then? The spike is 50 centimeters outside the line. See that? I mean, couldn't we technically plant further back? Because like the reason I planted on stairs.
I think this plant's better anyway.
Yeah, because then we could full charge the second one and just smash it right into the box. If it's planted for the Astra execute with the wall, you can actually see the spike all the way from catwalk. Which is why I made a double shock dart if you want to play post plant from this spot, either by going through this way or rotating all the way around. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna back into this wall until these lines line up like so. Then you're first gonna do a full charge double bounce by just following this line and aiming right here. And the second one is gonna be a 2-bar 2 bounce where you put the left corner of your charge bar right there.
Shot down.
And then you can swing right after, so if he tries to shoot you,
Any angle.
he dies regardless. Okay. Jump, right click. What do you think about this one way? I think it's the fact that it's not a one way. For a one-way to work, you should only be able to see the bottom part of the player. If you can see the head, you'll probably be dead. It's that simple. You know, you can almost never make a good one-way from this spot here, because they are further down than you are. So by you having elevation compared to them, they're more likely to see you than the other way around. But what I see some players do is play from here and put this one way on the furthest corner here, I think. Or they put it in like somewhere in the arch, because that way you're so close to the smoke that you can't see it. Like the further away from you the smoke is, the more likely you are to see them first. But you standing next to the one way and him standing on the slope on the other side just straight up means that you're actually just nerfing yourself. This is just straight up not good. This is a counter jet / race dash shock darts.
Right here. Shot down.
What? Off the back of that sign, dude? Come on, man.
Shot down.
I actually think this is really good. It bounces off of back of this thing. He said it's like a counter to race or jet. Like, That's good.
You know your enemies in tiles. You want to line yourself up with this low wall. Put your dime on the top of the sign, one charge.
Standing ahead.
Right there. Should see them
Found them.
right there. You know and you see they go into the corner. Line up yourself with this line. You look at this little brick, and look at this brick right here.
It's cold.
Imagine how mad someone would get. Dude, this is brilliant. It's actually made a wallbang lineup too.
So let's say you know your enemies in tiles.
Diamond on the top of the sign. There, put it there.
I'm on the top of the sign,
we
one
go.
charge.
Standing ahead.
One
Right
charge.
there. Should see them.
Found them.
Look at this brick right here.
It's cold.
You just get into this corner here, and you just do a full charge.
Revealing area.
Ooh. Okay. This spot is one of the best spots to hit on A side in general. If you hit very far out here, you actually scan parts of heaven too for wallbangs. It's really good. He states that it's a fake arrow, which I understand because it shoots it from back spawn and it's a full charge up in the air. The biggest problem with a full charge up in the air like this is that it's very easy to see because the skybox is open here. So you can see that the arrow is coming like a mile off, you know? It's definitely a good fake arrow. It's definitely usable because shooting it from spawn, you probably have plenty of time to go to... He's probably checking it here. He's
All
running.
the way here, and then you can start walking here as well.
He starts slow walking here, and then the arrow lands on Ascent A just as is in B main. That's fine. Now you have to ask yourself, okay, but what could I do to make it better? And I think the best idea here is to look if you can use any of these in the background. These objects in the background can be used to bounce things off. You could shoot a full charge arrow off the map, bounce it off some of these, and have it fly in a much more straight line back in, which then means that it looks much more legit, but it still gives you the same amount of time. That's my suggestion. It's a double shock for orb.
Revealing area.
Uh-huh.
Standing ahead.
Okay.
Shock dart.
Okay. So this lineup is based on the same type of lineup as the original nerd shock darts that we did back in the beta for default plants, where you shoot a 1 bar over the roof and then a 2 bar 1 bounce off this wall. The only problem with doing it from here is that, first of all, you're stuck in a corner. As soon as you fire your darts from here, they can see where your darts are coming from and you have nowhere to go. So they can start throwing utility at you. My suggestion is to at least move to the left side here. So literally do the same lineup from this side. That way, it's a little bit harder to see the lineup coming because it comes over this roof instead of this roof. It might be harder to make, but it puts you in a spot where you're free to leave the site. But the lineup in itself, the timing, everything is good.
Right here. Shock dart. Shock dart.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Shock dart. Shock dart.
Wait, does it fly through the freaking... Is that a riot arrow?
Shock dart.
It does. A very situational arrow. Definitely a good variety arrow. Like if you know that someone is holding there, like you reveal them first or they're more likely to play there. I don't know. I'm very skeptical to using a 2 bar in that situation. I feel like it should be possible to do this with a 1 bar. It seems to me like it's very easy to see a 2 bar coming this close because you're like 20 meters from the guy shooting a dart straight up in the air. Wait, dude, what is this? Hello? Hello? Okay. So, timing is good. It hits the right spot, but it's way too slow. In a post-plant scenario, unless you're playing Breeze, you shouldn't have to do a 1 bar as the second arrow. That's like a general rule. Breeze is like the only map that is so large that if you're playing post-plant arrows, you have to do a 2+1 bar. The biggest problem with this one is you're super exposed. You have to move around, which makes the lineup harder. It's extremely situational to play that spot. What is this? Okay. This is good. This is nice and simple. So this is for a retake situation or like try to stop them from planting. And one thing you need to remember when you're trying to stop someone from plant is that you want the lineup to be very fast to line up. When you're making retake lineups, you would try to avoid looking for small spots in the floor because that makes you stop, look down, and then start like walking towards slowly. In general, it takes more time compared to running towards an object that just like full on stops you. To double up on that, If you look here, they could be already flanking you, and you're like staring at the floor.
Revealing area.
Is this clipping through like a million things? It's not bad, but I think people can hide from it
Revealing area.
next to the wall. Like, I think this one is too far to the right. So if you could make a version that hits here, I think it definitely would be a lot better, like on the underside of this. But it is a problem that I think some of this might stop the vision range. But it's definitely a nice info arrow for garden. A jump throw. Okay, the spotted hits is fine because it's supposed to like clear the person peeking, but I think you're throwing it from like a far too passive spot. I think that if you want to play with your team, you can definitely hit this spot by throwing it from anywhere here, just outside ropes, and you save 5 seconds of running. Another thing to think about with this is only for KO lineups specifically is that the fragment grenade actually is affected by line of sight. So you have to be very concise with where the center of the grenade lands, because if the center of the grenade lands on this side of the wall here, it actually does 0 damage to the other side. Okay. Let us talk a little bit about what's going on here. It's perfectly timed, I just don't understand why. So the thing about Viper lineups is that you know you have plenty of time after you've shot your lineup to get there anyway, right? One argument here is that you don't spend a lot of time just standing there aiming with your lineup. You shoot your first one, you look up and you fire the second one, and then you can always start moving and start checking angles and stuff. So that actually makes a little bit of sense. The only thing is that you usually wouldn't push forward before the second snakebite ran out anyway, because if you get killed, your smoke gets disabled. So even though you wouldn't be like standing there aiming your snakebite, you wouldn't be pushing either. That's just not a good idea. I mean, it's cool. It's really cool. Crouch, toss. Ooh. Okay. This is simple, but really good. There's only one thing you have to be careful about here. That is whether or not this spot here is smoked off, because you cannot use this as a crosshair lineup anymore. If it's not smoked, they can very easily shoot you. So I would suggest creating an alternative way of lining it up. You could use something in this floor here to try to line things up, because there's quite a little bit of leeway on snake bites anyway. But it is definitely more a 1 versus 1 thing, where like as soon as you hear him diffusing, you can like jump up here. But yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, it's just for the, okay.
Boxes. We got here and here.
What? Oh, okay. Ah, okay, I like that. I was afraid he was gonna do a 2-bar there for a little bit, but he does the jumping, running, click. Interesting. Damn. That's cool. Not really much to say. It's like the only way to get a 1-bar plus a click that far into the corner. Believe me, I've tried. I don't actually think it's that hard. I think you just have to like practice it a little bit. If you're gonna do something like this, try to make it hit at least in like the frame here somehow. It's just so easy to shoot the arrows that land on the floor. What does his arrow do? There's always someone here in the start of the round. They're just gonna get scanned or shoot it. Yo guys, they're in T-spawn. Shocker. No way they're in T-spawn. Anti-killjoy double shocks for A main spot on Ascent. Oh no, no, no. No. It's a good lineup for the killjoy. You're way too exposed. It's just not happening. Oh. Okay, good job. Try to make it hit just around the corner. Make it hit on the side. It's a lot harder, but it gives you a lot more info. And make sure it lands so far down on the edge. This is one of those that needs to be like, it can be so much better with pixel perfection. It's down on the edge. It actually scans this cubby and behind this box as well, but it needs to be right down on the edge.
Help. Shock dart.
Enemy spotted.
Enemy
down.
Oh, what the Nice!
Okay, I mean... Wait, so do they actually land at the same time? The first one is a bounce. Oh! What? Oh my god. Okay, that's pretty cool. It's so extremely slow, man. Style points. Alright, that was it for today's episode of Pimp My Lineup. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to leave a comment below what your favorite lineup was. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video.